Okay, hope everybody's okay out there. Today's lesson is going to be building off what we already know. And I know you see the word problems, it's going to be okay. So just trust me. So this is what we call a different rate word problem, and we'll identify it as we get through part of the problem. You'll see something is quoted in one rate and something is quoted in a different one. So if you guys will follow the PDF that should be labeled Dentist 3, okay? There's 3 word problems on it, and we're going to walk through each and every one of those today on this video. Now, if you have that, I'll read it along, and you guys should follow along, hopefully open it on a different device. Or if you have the ability to print out the PDF, that would be great. So, number 1 says, my dentist charged me $140 for 2 cavities. Okay? He charged my brother $320 for 5. If you do straight division, you're going to see that these are off. That's $64, yes. Okay, so you can see if you look and do straight division, in the first case it looks like we're getting charged $70 per cavity. In the second case it looks like we're getting charged $64. So something's off there, and there's something that's not being accounted for. Well, if we understand what happens in a dentist's office sometimes is, or a doctor's office or anything, is you go in and initially you pay a copay before we even get treatment. And then afterwards we get billed for whatever they did. So there's a hidden copay in here, or what we're gonna refer to as a y-intercept, and then there's gonna be a slope or a rate per cavity. Okay, so this should look very familiar once we get this going. We're going to be using y equals mx plus b. Okay, so you've been working with y equals mx plus b for quite a long time. So we're just going to continue with that. And what we're going to be doing here is treating each set of data point as a coordinate. So I'm going to reread through the beginning of the problem where it says, my dentist charged me $140 for 2 cavities. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to treat all my y's, all my money is going to be y, okay? And x is going to be cavities, okay? Basically because the amount of money I'm going to pay depends on how many cavities I have. So y is going to be a dependent variable while x can be independent. Okay, so as I read again, my dentist charged me $140 for 2 cavities. So 2 cavities, $140, that's going to be my first input, data point. Okay, he charged my brother $320 to fill 5 cavities. So 5 cavities, and the $320 depended on the 5 cavities. So now that you're looking at this as a coordinate, I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out what we're gonna figure out right now. And that's gonna be the slope or the rate per cavity. So we'll label this x1, y1, x2, y2. And the slope is gonna be the change in what we were charged, or the change in money, divided by the difference in cavities. So if we figure out the change in the number of cavities and then the change in dollars, we can figure out how much they're charging us per cavity, okay? In this case, $320 minus 140, that's gonna be, I think it's 180 over 3. I should have had a calculator with me. Okay, so 180 over 3, that's gonna be $60, or $60 per cavity, okay? Now, what we can determine off of this is we now know y equals $60 per cavity, but what we don't know is the y-intercept or the copay. What do they charge us just for showing up at the dentist's office? So I'm gonna use one of the known points. I'm gonna go back to the easier one with the smaller numbers. So if there was $140 for 2 cavities, let's plug this in. $140 for y, 60 times 2 cavities, That's 140 equals 120. So what we're saying is if two cavities at $60 a piece is going to be $120, which means if you take that away from the 140, it must have been a $20 copay. So $20 just for showing up. Okay, now what we can build is the formula that the dentist used to charge his customers. Y equals $60 per cavity plus the $20 copay. Okay, now the second part of the question, so that's the formula we're going to use. Okay, that's the formula we're going to be using here. But the next part of the question is how much will he charge someone to fill 3 cavities? So 3 cavities, or 3 is going to be our input. So $3 per cavity plus the copay. That's $180 for the 3 cavities, $20 for the copay, and that's going to be $200. So he's charging $200 for someone to get 3 cavities.